and I have been
CB.
doing. What was that?
Cartier Bob.
Cartier Bob.
Thank you.
Damn, you got some fans back there.
That's okay.
7-Eleven spinning sunglasses, Bob. Bartier Bob.
Oh man, here we go.
Actually, there's a dope New York brand called Bartier. Really hard. Anyways, so we're doing the match, like Portland's premier dating experience.
Yes, sir.
Multiple venues, multiple love interests introduced, food, music, drinks, all that kind of stuff. Curating events from the ground up, creating relationships with local Portland businesses, hotels, venues, etc. So we did what? We did like 3 of them total. Yeah, 3 total. Really great experiences every single time that we did it. It was like, oh, this is great. This is like momentum. This is needed. Like seeing a need for connection in the community, just for people dating and getting out and meeting one another. Like we saw the need. We had a plan to execute, and we executed on that plan. And then we came up to this last one that we were going to do earlier this year. And we had like a beautiful venue locked in. Like they were really excited about it. And we're getting prepped for making it happen. But our Achilles heel is getting men to show up at these events. I don't know what it is, but guys just are apprehensive. Apprehensive to showing up to places where there's beautiful women. Don't know what it is. I think there's a safety component when it's like it's easier to just sit on your phone and just kind of like be somebody else that you're not. But if you got to show up as you are, there's more. It's a little bit more vulnerable to be denied in your face. That's one of my theories. I don't know what the thing is, but anyways, guys weren't signing up, and we had this discrepancy between feminine presenting people and masculine presenting people, men and women. And there was like 20 something women signed up, like 2, maybe 0 guys. I don't know what it was. And then I had this moment where I was just like, hey, I don't have to do this. I don't have to have this job, this thing that's creating stress and like having to fulfill this order, this need. Like it's okay just to like drop the baton and quit. Like we've already done this a number of times. I don't need to prove it to anyone else. I have a business that I'm running over here that needs more of my attention, needs more of myself. And that's kind of where it all kind of came into clarity for me. It was like, oh, I am spreading myself too thin. And it's like, I don't need to do all of these other things to kind of prove my worth and be that cheetah on the tundra and like chase down every single meal and make things happen and stuff. It's like, I need to save some of that energy for myself. And then I can double down on the thing that brings me the most happiness and is of the most service and helps the most people. That's the breath work. That's the meditation. That's the self-discovery component where I'm like, oh, just go all in on that and you're good. I don't need to prove myself as a photographer, as like a video producer or any of those things. I still do those things and then do them in when I'm inspired and I want to work with like my friends and do dope projects, but I'm not going to be out here like just trying to do stuff for the hell of it anymore.
Okay, I think I'll speak on my reflection. So we were showing up for one of the meetings, and I'll just say this: out of all the people I've ever worked with, I definitely want Aaron in a group project. He will not let me down. I've been with a lot of people, so I would say I am chomping at the bit where me and him will collaborate on something again. I feel like when I create with him, it's magic. I feel like it's literally LeBron and D Wade. It's KD and Steph. It is a combination, Y'all wanted me to say Dame and CJ, didn't y'all? He's gone. Anywho,
they're both gone.
I want to give y'all some. It's not $1 million worth of game, but I want to give y'all some game. You know, when I collaborate with Aaron or anyone I collaborate that I see as a friend outside the business, I always like to leverage, like, this is our friendship, this is the business. And I always told him or anyone I work with that it's equally as important for us to do these things business-wise, but also maintain our friendship. So, I remember the caller text. I can't remember how it was, but you were like, I think we should quit. And my first initial reaction was like, this nigga crazy. This nigga might be soft. He might be that Wonder Bread. Let me see what's going on. And I literally, I had to sit down and like hear what he was saying. Cause you know, when me and Aaron talk, you know, I'll give y'all some free game. I feel like, you know, he really hears me, and that's why he's one of my cherished friends. So I think before that initial reaction, when you work with your friends, you're like, why is this going down? I was like, let me hear him out, because I feel like the type of person that I associate with, or Aaron himself, something must be going on. And when he told me that, you know, we were having the issue with the guys and all that stuff, and I'll talk about that momentarily, but like, he was like, I'm not working in my purpose. I agree with him right off the top. And I agree with him because I had the opportunity to take a step back and had to look at what I was doing. Where like putting on matchmaking or matchmaking events, like that's cool and all, but I know I want to be a matchmaker. I'm telling you to go to that event. I'm not putting on that event. Like, I'm working with you in a microsphere to like build you up so you can go talk to that girl. Where like, I know the people who are running the event, they're good dudes. Hey, he's running, he's hella cool, you know, whoop, 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 whoop. Go do that. In our package deal, maybe I can talk to AJ, show me what he saw you doing. Oh, you was out there on your phone. Look at you, wasting your time and your money. And I'll just say that was one of the things that pushed me to be more present on the show, play no games, more present with, you know, my friends here and what they're doing, because, you know, once we get that lockdown there, if I want to do matchmaking events, then I'll have more bandwidth. So I appreciated him from like having us have that, like that check-in where I like
Reflection.
Exactly. Like, was that working for us? Because in all honesty, when we stopped doing that, I saw more dividends here. I saw more dividends other places I'm doing where like this next 2 to 3 weeks, a lot of stuff here has been changing. And if y'all are stout listeners, a lot of shit happened once we stopped doing the match. We're at 100 subscribers now. We're past that now. We've got at least 1,000 people or at least watching some type of video a week now, where I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, this is what happens when I'm putting that energy. But one last thing I want to speak to is, you know, our Achilles heel when it came to men. I was gonna have this kind of like be more like a background question, kind of for us to ask like to end the show with, but I'll bring it up now. But 'cause I know AJ has questions and things like that about what's been going on with you. But one of the things I kind of want to say from my perspective is there's something going on in this day and age. I don't want to say it's like a Portland. I kind of want to say it's a Portland thing a little bit too as well. But
it's nationwide.
But it's like, it's just, I don't want to add to the phrase like putting down men. Like, I'm trying to work on my delivery of like, all right, how can I uplift but also not sugarcoat when it comes to things where I'm like, I know a lot of people say for men that you have to produce or you have to do something. We've been having this analogy of chasing. Like, I feel like it's hardwired in our DNA to like, all right, I'm going to put forth energy and effort. And I feel like in this day and age, sometimes men don't know the pure essence of putting forth that energy. And I'm talking about from the purest intention, the purest integrity of, I'm going to go up to this girl and holler at her. And if it doesn't go, it doesn't go. And I feel like we're so, fear and rejection have so much dominion over us that we're not willing to take that L. And then the dudes in the Justin LA comments being like, oh, women ain't shit. It's the same dudes who are like, who can't get nobody and is screaming passport bros. Like, so, I guess I'm saying that all to say that I'm also glad that this happened. You know, I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed creating with you, my good man, and it was. I think we had to do that because I feel like we had the same vibes of like, all right, I'm gonna keep doing this to show y'all, and I already have enough to show y'all.
Yeah.
I want to speak on your men comment because I think it's important, and I don't think we speak on it enough. There's definitely a huge issue with men in our society today. And I don't know if it's a lack thereof, but I feel that because working in the high school, I see it all the time. I have a hard time with men participating in anything, even if it's specific for men. Like, this is a male-specific event. I need you to show up. They don't show up.
So, like, besides basketball and all that other stuff, right?
They don't show up.
Mm-hmm.
And we can even get more pinpointed to where a lot of times it's our black men who really don't show up. And so it's this reliability to rely on women to do things for us I think that society and parenting has created a lot of the issues that we deal with. This sense of my mom is going to give me everything I need. So at the end of the day, I need my woman to give me everything I need. And it's like, wait, time out, partner. Like, you have to work for some stuff. You have to challenge yourself. You have to be the head of the household in aspects. You have I think a lot of men have lost that drive to be different. Mm-hmm. It's more of drive, and if I fail, then I don't try anymore. And it's crazy to see that it's not only 14, 15, 16-year-olds, but it's also 27, 28, and 29-year-olds that are doing the same thing as these kids are. And so it's very interesting that you bring that up because I see the same thing at the high school level. And if I'm seeing it and you're seeing it, there's a whole generation of something's missing. And that is a huge issue.
And this is why I like to be very delicate about this conversation, because then we get 50-50 and trying mixed up. 50-50, right? That's like, I feel like that's such an arbitrary, like, surface level view of like relationships are, because it's fluctuating, because there are going to be points in your relationship where, you know, you're going to be producing more than your partner, and that's okay. And there's going to be times where it's going to be the same. But when people talk about 50-50, everyone's like, it has to be 50% this, 50% this. And it's like, that's a very rigid thinking module when it comes to that, because a partnership fluctuates, because maybe 1 week your girl's not going to, maybe a month, and vice versa. Or I'm like, if it's always this rigid, there's no room for flexibility. Mm-hmm. And then my last piece too with this is like, it's hard to gauge someone trying. So I always say this, you know when you're being pushed too much, because when we promise stuff to people and they don't do stuff, we're quick to be like, you know what, you didn't do that for me. But when we promise things to ourselves, it's like, oh, it was okay. You know where the buck stops. And a good coach coaches an individual, or a good therapist, or a good person who not monitor, but that helps guide humans, allows them to be so in line with their core self where you can honestly say, my girl's asking me to listen. I'm not listening to her. Am I really listening to her? Am I pushing myself? And I feel like when you have that authenticity to yourself, where you're tapped in, I feel like you are trying. I feel like people are disingenuous to trying. Mm-hmm. And that's why we appreciate the Russell Westbrooks of the world.
Yeah, I think to AJ's point, it's like the guys that we're talking about like aren't even at that point of like 50-50 is not even a thing, because they're not even like at the front door, like they're not even talking to anybody. Mm-hmm. It's just like the trying part, like just or general sense of like apathy to life, and just being completely like demoralized, no confidence, no energy, like no purpose. Like those are the things that I feel like a lot of men are dealing with these days. And it's like at some point it's like, all right, it just becomes so unbearable, and it comes out in different behavioral things, whether that's drinking and smoking or hanging out with the wrong people, X, Y, and Z. But it's something that comes to a crossroads at some point. I think all of us have probably gotten into that point, like where we're just like, fuck, it's like, it sucks being me right now. And at that point of like, all right, we're gonna either flip things around and make things work, or we're just gonna keep hoping and praying that mom's gonna come in and save me. And there's like I've been on that road, but yeah, I just don't have the answers to like how to inspire people to just not even just show up to a dating event. That's just whatever, but just showing up for themselves. Like, how do you start showing up for yourself? That's something that's like that fascinates me. Is that point where you're just like, you know what, like I'm gonna fucking do it. I don't care if I have nobody like on my side or not. Like, we want community, and community can be a great springing off point to find like-minded people that are interested in the same things and
Absolutely.
that can share their stories. But there's a way. It just, each person has a different path to finding that inner peace, finding their confidence to show up to things. But it is like that growth point, which is what the match was. It was like an edge. It was presenting an opportunity for people to walk into that next level of growth for themselves. That's what I think that we are bringing to men, was like, hey, I'm shy. I don't talk to a lot of girls. Like I haven't had a lot of luck on dating apps, like X, Y, and Z. And it's just like, all right, well, that's what your experience has been. We're going to bring you right into the lion's den, and you're going to talk to some girls.
In different
Like
capacities.
that's the whole thing. It's like, let's stop like making this so like taboo and stuff. It's like, no, you can go into a room and like introduce yourself to somebody in a safe environment that, with other people around that are holding everyone accountable, which is what our role is to make sure that the women feel safe, the guys feel safe, the venue's respected. We're providing an experience, and like that's the magic, and that's the value that we're bringing to people. And I think, I don't know if that was communicated or not, but it's like, as like a creative, as like somebody that like brings things into existence, everything's always based on intention. And like that's the pure intention, that like whatever you do, if it's coming from a pure place, like will make an impact in the world. And I hope that anybody listening to this that hasn't found their thing is starting with what your intention is, and whatever you bring into the world will be the right thing for somebody.
I think that's important. I think a lot of people, you talked about it, don't know themselves right now. They don't know where they want to be, what steps they want to take. And that's, I think, both men and women both. And we live in a society where you're so bombarded by all this and be that and be like this person and be like that. And people are just like taking it in and like can't figure out which pathway to go. And it's like, it's not about what pathway to go in. It's about what fits you. Like what does your heart desire? What do you love doing? And I think we have to go back to the baby steps. Like go back to when you're a child and you played this game because I love playing this game over and over and over again. What is those things? And I think we lose that. We begin to lose that sense of love or passion for whatever the work may be. I mean, there's people that get paid for fishing every day, and they love doing it. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that, it's like jobs are created off of hobbies. And I think people don't understand that. Like, and when you begin to think about those things, you can create the work that you want, or you can manifest the work that you want, and that will come to you. And I think it's people aren't looking within themselves. We've lost our sense of self for a while, men and women both. I think so.
So I think I'll cut that. What I want to say is, whoever watched or participated, supported, and did anything for the match, I just want to say thank you. I know myself and I know Aaron will probably say that we, from the bottom of our souls, we really appreciate you showing up and showing out. And believe it or not, if you enjoyed us in that effect, please watch us while we're on our individual playgrounds, because there's something there. And we just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
So I